Hi again, I'm PJ from treelineusa.com. Today I want to demonstrate for you how to use the Inlace product for filling voids or making decorative designs and doing other things to really add some unique beauty to a piece of wood. So let me show you how it's done. Okay, so at first I want to show you how this looks when it's all done, to kind of give you hope on a piece of wood that you may think is ruined here. I just have a piece of maple and it has some beautiful grain in it. You can see right through here. But yesterday it had a nice big crack, big gaping void in it. And so it probably could be used for a lot of things. But what I did is I filled it with this turquoise Inlace, and it made it look absolutely beautiful. So I'll kind of flip this around. You kind of see that void went all the way through here. And so today we'll be filling this side. I'll show you how that's done. But with this big gap right here, what I did is I put a piece of masking tape on the side right here, which kind of created a wall. So as I filled it with that Inlace, it kind of filled up and started to ooze down inside through here, which worked out great because I wanted to fill the other side anyway. But so let me show you what the kit comes with and how we do this. So Inlace, it comes with 8 ounces of material, which is a pretty good sized tub. So according to the manufacturer, if you take an 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch groove, 1 ounce will do about 7 feet of an area. So with 8 ounces, you can get a lot done. And so we've got this again, this is a turquoise color. The kit also comes with some Hardener, and you'll notice when you get it, the bottle is about half full, and that is okay. That's by design. You'll have plenty of the Hardener for the entire container of this Inlace, and it also comes with some paper cups. So it's important that when you mix this, that you mix it with either paper or glass. Don't use a plastic cup. I guess the plastic can kind of mix with the chemicals in this and give you negative results. So these cups, they give you these because they're about exactly 1 ounce. So if that kind of helps you measure this material, that's about 1 ounce, and you can mix it in one of the bigger cups. It also comes with a little a drip bottle, because for 1 ounce of Inlace, you want to use about 25 drops of the Hardener, and so we'll show you that here in just a second. And also comes with some popsicle sticks to help you get started. So there are some safety things and precautions you want to be aware of. Inlace comes with some good instructions that kind of teach you about that. Make sure that you're always wearing safety glasses when you're doing this. If it gets on your hands, you make sure you wash them real good. Anyway, so you can kind of read more about that, but let's get mixing and let's show you how it's done. Alright, let's get started. Okay, I've got my safety glasses on. You just need a screwdriver to open up the can here, and you'll probably need to mix this up really good when you first get it, as it's been probably sitting for a little while. The manufacturer says you've got about a 1-year shelf life on Inlace, but you want to keep it in an area that's less than 72 degrees and out of the sunlight. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to mix this up really good. Again, I've kind of mixed this up a little bit, but the first time I mixed it, I did stir it for about a minute or two just to make sure that it was thoroughly mixed. But you can see you just got a nice kind of runny product here. It's almost like jam, and that really helps to kind of help it flow into the groove or the design that I've either carved or that Mother Nature has carved, with different cracks and things like that in the wood. So I'm going to take this out. I've got it all stirred up, and I'm going to use about a half of an ounce of material. So I'll just kind of scoop a little bit into here. So use about a ½ ounce of this material. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in, so they say for 1 ounce you want 25 drops. So we're going to put in 12 drops. Okay, so we've got the Hardener in there. And now let's use our popsicle stick and mix this up. So you just want to make sure you mix this thoroughly. That's really important. You've got about a 12 to 15 minute work time on this, so you've got plenty of time usually to be able to get it into the area. The manufacturer recommends that the groove is usually about 1/8 of an inch wide, and that way you can kind of anchor in place really well as you do it. So let's get this closed up. And usually you want to kind of wipe around that to keep that good and clean. I'll do that here in just a minute. But So I'm going to mix this up so it's completely stirred in. And again, this is nice and runny. So if you're working on something that is rounded, where gravity might make it a little bit trickier, you may want to kind of wait for this kind of thickens up just a little bit first to apply it. But for this, where I'm working on a flat surface, I think we're going to be in good shape. So you can see where I've got some of the turquoise that's already been added in there. That's not a problem to add it right on top of it, and it'll kind of work its way around it. So got this mixed up real good. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to pour a little bit over those grooves, and I'm going to use the popsicle stick to really work that down into those grooves. You'll notice that I'm leaving this just a little bit proud. That eventually I'm going to be sanding all of this off. So at first it looks like it's really caked in there, but I want to make sure that it's really recessed in those cracks like this. Put a little bit more over here. Yeah, and using that popsicle stick to really work it into some of those grooves. I mean, some of these areas are definitely going to be smaller than that 1/8 of an inch target that we're looking for, but I still think we're going to be in good shape. And if we can get a few of those crystals down inside there, I think it's still going to look really good. So I'm going to work that down in. Again, you've got about a 12 to 15 minute work time to get everything in place. You want to make sure too that you're working in a well ventilated area. The fumes, you just don't want to be breathing those while you're working here. So anyway, I think we're doing pretty good. What I'm going to do is after you do this and it starts to set up, I'd give it probably about a 45 minutes to an hour or so, and then you may want to go through and really scrape off any of the excess, and that'll really help when you go to sand it. When you do go to sand the project, you want to start with probably about a fairly coarse grit sandpaper first, because it does have a tendency to kind of gum up that sandpaper quickly. So start with something coarse and then kind of work down through your grits until you get it as smooth as you want. Wood turners often will use this too, and so for you turners out there, you may want to leave your project just a little bit thicker than what you want it to be eventually, and that way it gives you plenty of material to return after this is dried, and so you can sand it down and it'll be where you want it to be. But this stuff looks absolutely gorgeous when it's all done. Again, I'm just kind of really making sure to kind of work it down inside of those smaller cracks to make sure that I'm giving it as much color as possible. And so, and if you know the area is pretty thick, you may want to just kind of really work it back and forth until you get it. And then eventually we'll kind of take this and scrape off some of the excess, and that way it eliminates some of the sanding that you have to do later on. But anyway, I think it looks absolutely gorgeous when it's all done. Okay, we've given this a little bit of time to dry right now. It's not completely dry because again that takes about 12 hours to completely set up before you can start sanding it. But I've given it probably about 20-30 minutes or so, and so it's just a little bit tacky still. But what I want to do now is I want to go through and start scraping off some of that excess. And what that'll do is that'll save me a lot of sanding if I can get rid of. So I'm kind of just a little bit of an awkward angle there, but kind of show you that if I can peel off some of this material, then that'll make so I don't have to sand quite as much away. But you can kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like here tomorrow once we have a chance to let it dry, and then we sand it down. I wanted to kind of give you just a bit of information too. When you do sand it, you can start with like around a 80 or 100 grit sandpaper to start working down through it. You could go finer, but it does load up a little bit too fast, I think. But with that, if you can be careful not to dish the wood out too much. So as you're sanding, try to keep it as flat as you can, and by doing that, it'll allow the wood to be a little bit flatter too. So the material is not that hard, meaning that it's going to be maybe just a little bit harder than the wood around it, but you just want to be careful as you're sanding down to kind of keep everything as flat as possible. So anyway, kind of scrape off some of this excess, and you can kind of see that all of that I did not have to sand away, that we now have it just scraped off So sometimes people, when they're doing this, they'll add, before they add the Inlace to it, they'll put a sanding sealer down first, and that kind of helps seal the wood so that the adhesive in this doesn't soak down quite as deep, and so you don't have to sand off quite as much of it. But anyway, of course that's not all of it, but that'll give us a jump on it. So anyway, you can see that's going to look pretty sharp once we sand that all nice and smooth. And once we do, and we put just a little bit of a finish on it, it'll look just like that when we're all done. We certainly hope this has been helpful, teaching a little bit about the Inlace product. It is a very well designed product. There's several different colors that are available. So Treeline, we carry the Inlace product along with other inlay materials, including crushed turquoise and other materials too. So anyway, come check us out at treelineusa.com, and for more videos like this, please click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching.